Hello, and welcome to episode 573 of Prog Review. Today, Mike Oldfield's AMAROK. I forgot I haven't done this one. Thought, looking at the shelf and thinking, what shall I do? And there it was. We'll do that one. Released back in 1990, the 28th of May. My original copy. It was a bit cracked. Yeah, this is a very fun album. There's even a news story I cut out from a paper. Oldfield, Mike canvasses support, where he supposedly moved into a tent in his garden in a bizarre protest against modern music. There we go, 37. Cool. So he says music's been ruined by drum machines. That's what he says, and that is the reason for AMAROK. There's more reasons than that. It is a bit of a protest album, really. You could see it as his protest album. Ooh, controversial, because not only was he was a bit miserable about drum machines. Don't know why. He was also annoyed with Virgin Records and Richard Branson, because their issues over royalty payments and advertising. You know, they wouldn't really promote his records. He felt he was being left out by them, and so he felt a little bit sore, you know. And so he produced a record which is almost impossible to market. How so, Darren? Well, first of all, it's 60 minutes long. It says on the Wikipedia page it's 60 minutes and 2 seconds, but it was meant to be exactly 60 minutes long. And it's a conjoined piece of music. It's a continual piece of music over those 60 minutes. There are no breaks. It's very hard to sequence any of it for playback on radio, because how can I say, it's like there are loads of tiny little pieces, fragments of music glued together, and so it's a really well, it can be quite incongruous at times. It's all over the place. It really is. It's absolutely bonkers. And yeah, and so it couldn't. Yeah, there was no airplay. You couldn't get it played on the radio. How do I describe it? I mean, I always say. I'm in the camp that says this is Omadorn 2. You know, forget Return to Blooming Omadorn. This is the one. Even from the actual album sleeve, where he's staring wistfully through a window with rain on it, which, you know, harkens back to that original Omadorn cover. You've also got the influence of African drums on the latter end of the album, which is very similar to I always forget their name. Is it Jubiler? Jubiler? In fact, it's the same people, I think, doing it that were on Omadorn, I believe. Even to Paddy Maloney, Claude R. Simmons and Bridget St. John, they all appear as well, which gives it further credentials. There's none of this crap sampling and rejigging of themes that we heard on Return to Omadorn. Here we have a wholly original piece, and it feels like it. And it's notable, there's loads of different, I mean, God, there are so many instruments listed that he plays on this. I think there's even a Dremel drill at one point, or I might have dreamt that. It certainly sounded like a Dremel drill. And it tootles along. I mean, it is just a great record, and you know, a lot of the segments are only like 50 or so seconds long to 2 minutes. It's really punchy, and it's unlike anything Oldfield ever did or has done since. It's just an original take on the Mike Oldfield mythos, if you want. You know, he's taken the idea of Mike Oldfield and put it in a blender and delivered something completely, wonderfully odd. The only letdown for me, and what is the letdown? What is the letdown? It's Janet Brown appearing on the B-side. I say B-side, you don't turn it over because it's a CD. But on the last section with the African drums, Janet Brown is she still alive? Let me have a look. I can never remember. Oh no, she died in 2011, aged 87. God, time flies. She does the voice of Margaret Thatcher. Ugh, even saying the woman's name makes me shiver. Ugh, Thatcher. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the woman, you know. But at least you knew what you got, not like these wishy-washy politicians we have today. So I respected her in that respect. It's funny that how time passes and you think, God blimey, the shower of we've got now. It was. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off the point, aren't I? That's the only thing on the record that I'm not particularly keen on, because one, it comes across as not particularly funny. I don't find it funny. Two, I don't find Janet Brown's impersonation of Margaret Thatcher particularly good, and it just seems completely out of step. I've seen, again, he's trying to, evoke the spirit of, Vivian Stanshall, have that kind of anarchy on the record. Again, it's a kind of a retreading of Stanshall's Sailor's Hornpipe appearance. I'm saying, but you can interpret it how you see fit and how you like it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a wholly remarkable record, and it marks his exit from Virgin Records, because there was this, and I think it was Heaven's Open, which followed this, where he basically says to Richard Branson and goes off. So and he was also putting albums out very, very quickly. There was Earth Moving in 1989, which. Not to my taste, though Adrian Blue appears on it, I believe. And Heaven's Open is in 1991. So you got, there's an album every year coming out. And then, Tubular Bells 2 in 1992. So that he's gone. It's almost like he's gone back to the old-fashioned way of. Old-fashioned. Do you remember when bands had albums out every year? Sometimes even had two albums out in a year. He's gone back to that kind of working schedule. So yeah, there's a lot of music when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, God, it just takes me back. I remember it. I would have been 19 at the time, and I just think it's one of those records that it has a health warning. It's one of those records that has a health warning. This record could be hazardous to your health of cloth-eared nincompoops. I think that may have been a slight jibe at Mr. Branson. If you suffer from this condition, consult your doctor immediately. So it's on the back. So you mustn't be a cloth-eared nincompoop. But there's a lot of humour in it. Even to the inlay, there's a little story as well. And there's a secret message 48 minutes in Morse code. Morse code spells out "fuck off RB," which again I think may be another pointed, snipe at a certain bearded ex-record label owner, doesn't own Virgin Records anymore, but he did at the time. So yeah, I mean, it's a crazy record. If you haven't heard it and you're a big Mike Oldfield fan, I think you may be completely shocked by it. If you have never heard any Mike Oldfield, don't listen to this first, because you're going to go, what the heck have I just listened to? What the hell is this? Because it still makes me goggle now, because it's that crazy genius at work, and it's a shame that there's not more of this now. I mean, now we're kind of going through the pension years where we're going to relive past glories, and that's all right if you can deliver, but I've not been too impressed with Return to Omadorn. I've listened to it since my review, and I still haven't, whereas this got me on the first listen. It really did. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Earth Moving or Heaven's Open. I'm a critical listener. You know me. You know what I'm like. You should know what I'm like by now. But this one, it hasn't got So I don't know what to rate it. It'd have to be 5 AMAROKs out of 5. That's 5 AMAROKs out of 5. And like I say, it's just an amazingly crazy, varied, weird, familiar, piece of work. Unlike anything we've ever heard. And again, I think when you've got, again, if you break it down, there are so many elements to this, and so many little bits of music. That's what I find amazing, because it's just like, maybe he was just jamming. I don't know, but it's still impressive. And I use the idea myself. Not that I ever did anything as good as AMAROK, but the idea of doing something very, very short, pieces. I use with the record I did called Textures, where I limited the sections to like 2 minutes, do 2 little minute sections, then somehow glue them together, find a theme and thematically kind of glue them together. And I kind of took my cue from this record, because when you do that, you produce something that's kind of evolving and moving a lot. There's a sense of purpose to it, there's a real sense of compactness. CD, Compact Dog. Apparently that was the name of Oldfield's dog at the time. Though I've got a funny feeling he was winding up the journalist, because it said he was calling from a payphone outside his home. So make of that what you will. But yeah, that's your homework for today if you've never heard it. AMAROK, which is a truly amazing, weird record, and one that I've got an absolute lot of fondness for. Forget Returns. Hold on, Return to AMAROK. That's what we need. AMAROK the sequel. I'd like to see him do that. But this needs a 5.1 surround sound mix, because it is a very busy record. Am I going on? I feel like I'm going on. I don't know how long I've been talking. I've lost track of time. But this needs a 5.1 surround sound mix, because it's so dense and there's so many bits and so many elements flying around. I think it'd be really, really interesting to hear. But I don't know if we're ever going to get there. It seems like the Oldfield reissue campaign has come to a bit of a halt. Not that I ever wanted to hear Islands in 5.1. Enough, I got that on LP back in the day for 99p in Woolworths in a bargain bin sale. Those were the days. But yeah, so anyway, I've done it. I'm delirious. I didn't sleep much last night. But AMAROK, do give it a go. 5 AMAROKs out of 5. What more can I say? That'll get. Maybe Michael let me back into his private Facebook group now. I doubt it. Banned. Another one that banned me. Banned here and banned there. Who'd want to be me, eh? Anyway, thank you for watching. My name's Darren Rock. This has been AMAROK from 1990. I can even remember buying it in Woolworths back in the day. Cool. I feel old now. That's it. There's only one more thing left to say before I completely evaporate. Is prog on.